After being a remote worker for 3 years, here's what I've learned. The lessons that I'm going to lay out in this video, they actually is relatable. Sometimes painfully. One Slack message, one mistake, one lonely Tuesday at a cafe at a time. Today, I'm finally telling my whole story. I've been working remotely for over 3 years now, and these are the lessons that I wish someone would have told me before entering into the remote job. And I'm probably all of you who are watching this video and knowing me, I'm a person who is your remote work guide, or what you can also say a friend. But a lot of people, their dream is to actually land a remote job working comfortably at home. But let me tell you this, that is not sunshine and rainbows at most times. Lesson number 1 is English fluency is not optional. Now, I'm quite fluent in English, but a lot of people from various different countries and also nationalities, English is probably their second language. And I'm pretty much sure that every one of you wants to actually work remotely to earn more income, more stability, and also get off the 9-to-5 grind, which is draining you as you come home from work feeling exhausted and even tired. But the most crucial important element is that English is a must. This is not optional. Sure, you can have pretty fancy words behind your screen, typing in your keyboards, or even rephrasing it in Grammarly or even ChatGPT. But when your boss tells you, hey, can we talk for a second or for a minute, your heart starts to beat. And that's the most crucial thing. Communication is not just by typing when you're working remotely. Sure, there are other remote jobs that doesn't even require you to speak to your upper management. But if you're in a remote job like me, English is a must, because English is how you'll build on trust, build proper communication towards all your other co-workers who is not physically present beside you. And trust me, if you've been applying to a lot of remote jobs, although your requirements has filled all their criteria, check boxes, but when it comes to that interview session, they get very judgmental. The proper grammar is actually a very must here, because that's the real difference in you getting a $500 job and you actually landing a $2,000 job. So again, hone your English. If you have someone who can actually speak English very fluently, I highly recommend you keep on talking to him or even her to actually hone that English skills of yours and actually get comfortable in speaking it aloud. Don't just say, I can understand English, but I don't know how to reply, because if you want a remote job, this is a must. Lesson number 2, and I mentioned this a lot, you don't need experience, but what you need is adaptability. I've been promoting how to get a remote job without an experience, but a lot of people mistakenly thinks that, hey, they don't need anything to get started working remotely. What I mean here is that you need to be a reliable person. You need to be someone who is flexible, who is fast changes, who is adaptable. So if you're someone who feels like, in my first job, I want to start working remotely and thinking they're going to tell you all the SOPs and processes, sure, some companies might have SOPs and processes, but a lot of remote companies that are in tech are usually startups. So most of the times they don't even have the full system. And if you're someone who just finished high school looking for a part-time remote job, or even a university graduates who just got their bachelor degree trying to land a remote job position, expecting that, hey, everything is going to come naturally, no, that's very much false here. A lot of the times when people come into the company saying they don't have experience, we often tell them what we need is someone who is a proactive thinker and also someone who is able to find the solution by themselves before coming up to us with all the problems. So if you're someone looking for a company that has all the systems and processes like Unilever or the top multinational companies out there, go ahead and apply. And trust me, it's pretty much going to be boring. A lot of the remote job position right now, and these days, they don't even have a very clear job description. Sure, you're gonna sign a contract with them listing that you're going to do job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4. But in reality, you probably have 8 different jobs that you're doing. And your employer actually wants someone who can manage and take in on new challenges. That can be pretty much draining here. So that leads me to saying you need to be adaptable and also mixing it with the right time management. Lesson number 3, I found that trust is very fragile in the remote company because our physical presence is not actually there. Communication becomes such a crucial role on how you build on trust. If you make one mistake, sure, the employer might oversee that. They might actually give some feedback. But if you keep on making the same repeatable mistakes, they're going to be very biased upon you. So remember, it's not going to be easy for you to gain that trust. trust back. And I've pretty much seen lots of case studies that is happening within the company that I work for. Trust is very an important issue. For example, I myself, I am a project manager managing a lot of video editors. If a video editors fail to submit the video upon the deadline that I set, sure, I might overlook them. But if they keep on submitting the videos over the deadline, I might not actually give them more videos because I want a reliable team. I want someone that I could trust. And knowing that person doesn't actually give proper communication to me and essentially will lower the value of trust to him or to her. And another thing I want to add to trust is that it's because it's remote work. Your boss is not going to be staring at your screen. Now, don't think that, hey, since nobody's watching, I can do whatever I want throughout the day, throughout the evening, and that leads me to the next part, which is time management will either save you or completely destroy you. Time management is very important here as a lesson that I've learned over 3 years. When I got into my remote job role, I thought that, hey, I could have all the time that I want. I could do my hobbies. I could work, whatever it is. But trust me, some of the times you might actually see me working from morning until evening because I've been procrastinating yesterday and I need a lot of job to catch up on. The most important lesson I want you to take away if you are landing that remote job soon or you're going to start working remotely is very important to keep a clear schedule when your work hour is and when your personal life responsibility comes after that, because your work comes first. You might think that I can wake up in the afternoon, I can wake up late in the evenings and then do my jobs, but hey, your schedule is going to be messed up, and that's probably waiting for responses towards your other co-workers asking informations here and there, and they might not even reply because you guys are not in the same time zone. The lesson that I've learned here and what my company implemented to me was that we are supposed to be online at 9 a.m. to even 12 p.m. so that we can actually actively communicate towards one another, whether we need one thing from the other person or they need something from us. Time management is very crucial here, and I actually want you to understand that. If you manage it well, you will actually get your life back. But if you manage it poorly, you will actually lose your life. Remote work doesn't burn you out. You burn yourself out when you don't set boundaries. The fifth lesson that I actually want you to know is miscommunication can be such a monster. Like I said, all it takes is one message, one emoji, and suddenly you're wondering, are they mad? Was that sarcastic? Or did I do something wrong? Some type of message like a double haha or lol, or even did you do your job right, can actually sting you at the back, because from other people's culture that might even seem provocative if you're seeing it from a blind eye, thinking they're trying to fail you or set you up through a failure. But oftentimes it's just a miscommunication along the lines. That's why I live by this rule now. If something feels unclear, ask. If something sounds rude, clarify. If something bothers you, discuss. You'd be shocked by how much drama in the workplace can just disappear completely when you communicate clearly. The 6 lessons that I've learned in my 3 years of working remotely: fast Wi-Fi is your only real office. And I'm not just saying, hey, you need a stable, good connection like all the other people say, but forget all those fancy setups like ergonomic chairs, double monitor screens, or productivity hacks that a lot of people talk about, tools here and there. Sure, it can help you out, but if you don't have a very fast Wi-Fi, you suck. That's basically it. And having a bad Wi-Fi will actually slow you down in terms of working. Trust me, if you have a very fast Wi-Fi, that could mean the difference of you working that extra 1 or 2 hours or you working less than an hour or 2. And please, if you don't have a good Wi-Fi at your home, and I'm pretty much sure that this problem often comes when you're just having a bad connections at home, please take one day off and go to a cafe nearby your local shop. Find a cafe that actually has a very reliable internet connection, because let's get it straight, remote work actually gets lonely. Oftentimes you're just all alone at your home. So this is the part where I feel that these 3 years have been such a fulfilling but also depressing times, because you're not actually meeting somebody and have a chit chat, knowing more about their personal life. So if you actually have a coworker within the same company that is living like 30 or 45 minutes, have the time to actually meet with them, chat with them, know more about them. Or if you're actually getting lonely, try to actually huddle if you're in Slack or using Slack as a communication tool to actually know them personally personally. That's why oftentimes if you see a good company culture is that to actually have a remote culture we call, even if it's 1 time per month or even 2 times in a month. That's actually something good to have, to actually know more about the other person. And it's not just following the system so that we can actually build relationship and also communicate. Don't just do it for the sake of it, but do it to actually build relationship. And that's the important stuff that I actually want you to know before going into a remote job. It gets pretty lonely. Go to a cafe at least 1 time in your work weekday and have a friend that you can actually tell about your work matter and how they can help you out. And finally, the last lesson that I actually want you to know, if you're someone who is about to land a remote job, although your income is quite high, trust me, promotion and salary growth are the hardest part, which is probably the second level. If you work 1 year or even 1.5 to even 2 years of your remote career, asking for a salary increase can feel like it's a crime. But trust me, like I mentioned before, your job description might even evolve after 1 year. It's time for you to negotiate. And by negotiating, I mean communicating properly. I actually want you to save the achievement in a piece of Google Docs or even PowerPoint presentation to actually highlight the things that you've achieved when you're about to ask or negotiate for a salary increase or even a career ladder growth. Because trust me, being a remote worker, oftentimes people won't even see that you're hustling hard enough or seeing that you actually put effort in it. They can just keep on delegating you more and more tasks, but if you don't negotiate well enough, nobody is going to notice your physical presence. That's why, like I mentioned before, communication presence is very, very important here. If you don't keep track of this achievement, your achievement will probably disappear into what we call a digital void. Nobody is going to notice it. And again, this is your career, so treat it like an evidence, which can also be beneficial when you're about to other remote jobs out there. You can actually input this into your resume. So those are the 7 lessons that I have learned working remotely as a remote worker in this past 3 years. If I could give an advice to someone who wants to work remotely, that would be: first, learn English fluently or even deeply. Second, communicate clearly. Third, adapt quickly. Fourth, protect your time. Fifth, build trust slowly and don't ruin it. And then keep yourself like a human, not like a machine. And the next, keep yourself sane with proper time management and also boundaries between work and personal life. And the last one is to always track your achievement and what you've achieved in the company working for a set number of time frame. That is my honest experience of working as a remote worker for 3 years now. And it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. There's a lot of beneficial advantage working remotely, don't get me wrong. But I think this video is just a helpful reminder that a lot of the stuff that people are saying, and even what I'm saying in my previous video about how remote work can actually impact your life, these are the brutal truth and also the brutal lessons that I actually want to share this to all of you, so that when you start working remotely, you're set out to be in the right path. So if you found this video helpful, please comment down below, what other helpful lessons have you found along the way working remotely. Share that to the community so that we can all discuss. Yes, this is it from me. If you guys love the video and if you guys want me to keep making more videos like this, hit the like button and also subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.